Okay, I'm ready to talk about my top 10 books of 2024. So here we go. Okay, number 10 is This is Not the Jess Show. Can't speak this morning. But it is about Jess is a teenager living in 1998, and she's just feeling a little off. She's not really sure, like the people around her are just a little off and she's not sure what it is. And then one day she's walking to school with her friends and an iPhone comes out of her friend's bag. But it's 1998. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I really liked it. There's a sequel. So I'm like, I need to read that one this year. The sequel to that. Okay, number 9 is The Frozen River, which is historical fiction about Martha Ballard, who is a real person. She was a midwife in the 1800s, and there's kind of a mystery surrounding some of the stuff that goes on. But this was, I listened on audio. It was so good. It was so good. Well, I think they're all good in this video because it's my top 10, so. So at number 8 spot is Darling Girls, which is a mystery. There are 3 girls. Well, they're women now. They grew up in a foster home, and they actually fled the home as teenagers. And now it's present day, and the authorities have found a body in the home where they were living. So it's what's going on? What's going on? Number 7 is Sandwich. This is kind of a shorter book. It is, if you've heard of the sandwich generation, where you are raising children, but your own parents are needing help as they're getting older. You're in the sandwich generation, and this is from the point of view of a woman who is right kind of in the middle. Her kids are actually, I want to say that they're about like 19 and 21, something along those lines, and so she's kind of in the middle, and just dealing with a lot of stuff. And I will say, you want to check the trigger warnings for Sandwich, because there are some topics that some people are not going to want to read about that come up. So. Okay, number 6 is Part of Your World. This is a part of a 3-book, like the characters intertwine with each other. And so this book is about Alexis and Daniel. Alexis is a doctor, and Daniel is from this really small town. He's a carpenter, and it's kind of like opposites attract, and it's a romance. It's very good. It's very good. Because, a lot of times when you read romance, or at least for me, when I read romance, like I really like the stories, but I usually rate it like 3 or 4 stars. So to get a 5-star, like that means I really liked it. Number 5 is The Nature of Disappearing, which her books are so good on audio because they're so suspenseful, and like you just want to keep listening. So if you have like a big chore you need to do, like, yeah, I recommend her because so good. But this one, In the Nature of Disappearing, is about a wilderness guide, and she has to team up with kind of this guy that she just does not get along with because their mutual friend goes missing in the wilderness. So, but it's a very suspenseful. It's great though. Number 4 is the Displacements, which is about what happens to this family and a few other characters in Florida when Florida gets hit with the first Category 6 hurricane. So it's about that. Okay, the number 3 is After the Crash, which takes place in 1980, or it takes place in 1998. But in 1980, there was a plane crash, and there were 2 babies on board, the same age, like born almost on the same day, I think, and they were traveling with their parents, and the parents perished. Both sets of parents perished, and there's only one baby, and they don't know which baby it is. And so it's kind of about this detective trying to figure it out, and the 2 sets of grandparents. So it's really interesting. It's really interesting. Number 2 is The Women, which is the story of, it's told from kind of the point of view of this young woman. She's about 20 years old, I think, and she joins as a nurse in Vietnam. And so it's kind of the story of her in Vietnam, and then the aftermath of coming home, and family stuff and PTSD and everything. So it's really good. And my number one book of the year is God of the Woods. And this book got me because it is about a missing, it takes place at a camp, a summer camp, which if something takes place at a summer camp, I'm reading it, I feel like. So it's about the owners of the camp. Their son had gone missing, and now it's a few years later, and now their daughter has gone missing. And so there's just a lot of characters, and the setting takes place in New York, and it's just so good. It's just one of those books that just like, I don't know, I can't stop thinking about it. That's my number one book of the year. Have you read any of these?